Welcome or welcome back to Fear Given and Rethemed. We are your hosts, Casey.
And Sean. And if this is your first time listening, we're a married couple who enjoy all things horror, paranormal, and weird. And today we have a last minute bonus episode because we just attended something in Jacksonville, Florida called Paranormal Cirque. So before they leave the town, since they're only here for a few days, we wanted to get this episode out there and encourage anybody else that was interested to take a visit.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was our second time going. I think 2 years ago we went to one of them for the first time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 1 or 2 years ago.
So they are, we'll go a little bit about like the overview, but this one in particular was in Orange Park, Florida.
Yep, at the mall.
At the mall. So if you want to venture over there in the wilderness.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I have almost no notes for this.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of a last minute, hey, let's do an episode on this.
Yeah, so we're just going to chat some dialogue. I do have like stuff that I researched on my own today. During my lunch break.
Yeah, and I'll just throw in my 2 cents.
Okay, so on their website, Paranormal Cirque, it's called A Magic and Mysterious Adventure. So this is from their website, and this kind of like gets you like into like what it is. It says, slow down so you can take it all in, but if you scare easily, you might want to run. As we welcome you into this new world of Paranormal Cirque. Under this clown castle, the black and red big top tent, acrobats of the air, illusionists, freaks, mysterious creatures, and all the elements that make one think of a normal circus, but that of normal has very little. A new show with breathtaking implications, always poised between fun and most I do not know how to say that word. Uninhibited fear that will transport you to a dark world inhabited by creatures with incredible circus art abilities. A crazy yet fun fusion between circus, theater, and cabaret, and perfect harmony with the evolution of a show that brings you back to when we dream and when we had nightmares and fantasies. Scare, encompass, amuse, and surprise are the ingredients for a mixture of emotions impossible to forget. This is truly a paranormal experience like no other.
Well, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. I mean, basically. Just so you know, I'm losing, I can't hear anything out of my left thing. So, we're not going to edit that out, but, because this is, yeah. Yes, I can hear.
Okay,
yep,
cool.
I'm good.
I just had to fix mine.
Oh, okay. So there are 3 different levels of events for Paranormal Cirque. So they have like levels, so they call it Paranormal Cirque, and then Cirque 2, and then Cirque 3. So
and
the
that's
one
just the different casts, right?
Yeah, and then they also have
Or are there different like shows?
So the whole company as a whole is called Cirque Italia.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they even have like water cirque and stuff too. So there's like different, like they don't only do Paranormal Cirque, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. But yeah, those 3 levels, they like the normal one, they travel from, they're different casts, and they all travel between February and March. And then the first one is traveling this year to Texas. The second one is traveling to New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, and California. And then Cirque 3 is traveling to Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina.
I wonder if they have those in like the best of the best is the first one, and we got like 3rd string.
Maybe, but they always, on their website it says that they always change cast.
Oh, okay.
And they always change like different, I'll read more about it. But the one that, if you wanted to go to it, it's Cirque 3. So that's the one that's traveling to Florida, Georgia.
Go to Texas,
yeah, if you're listening
California.
if you're listening from Texas or New Mexico or Arizona and California, then you can go to Cirque one or two. I think the last one that we went to was just Paranormal Cirque. I don't think it was two or three.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. No one's, I mean, they're all really
And
good.
the first time we went a few years ago, I believe we looked it up, and the guy that played the nun, like
Yeah.
the main ringleader character,
Yeah.
that had all like the fill-in scenes, I believe he was the one that directed
Well, he owns
the show.
I think
So
he
he's
owns.
the
Yeah.
okay.
So I'll go on to say that.
Okay, cool.
But I just want to explain a little bit more about like what the show like is, I guess.
Yeah.
It contains provocative burlesque and adult humor. So this show is not suited for children under 17. So don't take your kids, please.
Yeah, and we've been to 2 circuses now in the last like 3 weeks. You had
Yeah.
never been to a circus ever.
I haven't. Barnum and Bailey. I had never been.
Yeah, so now you have.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey came to Jacksonville,
Yeah.
and tickets were a good price. So we were like, all right, you've never gone. You had a fear of clowns. Now they don't really
They don't have clowns, really.
Nope, I guess it's insensitive. I don't know. Either way, there were no clowns, at least not the conventional like face paint, stuff like that.
Right.
So we went. Which one, out of Paranormal Cirque and Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey, which one did you enjoy more?
Oh, paranormal, absolutely.
All right.
But if I had kids, I think it would be different.
Yeah, there's no way we would have taken kids
Oh,
to
no.
Paranormal Cirque. In fact, if you're under 13,
Yeah.
you're not allowed in,
No.
like cut and dry. There's a hard line rule.
Yeah, it's
And
very...
between 13 and 17, you have to have a parental like guide with you.
Yeah, and yeah, they have it's not
It's
like
very risque.
It's very risque. It's not like anybody's naked or anything, but like it's
They're
very
about as close as you can get
right.
legally.
So the women that do the aerial loop acts and the pretty much everybody that does the acts, they have on very provocative clothing. I mean, they're beautiful, but like they
it's
they
not-
show a lot.
It's not for kids. If you've been
No.
to Halloween Horror Nights,
Yeah.
it's a very similar vibe to the Nightmare Fuel show.
Yes, it is
or the
very
Bill and
similar.
Ted, really,
Mhm,
because they
yeah.
all kind of have that same.
Yeah, it's very adult. So they have acts including aerial loop, chiffon. Am I saying that right? Chiffon.
Yeah, that's like the fabric. I think.
right. Chiffon aerialist, which I want to do so bad. Like I really wish I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say this. Sir wheel.
So I looked this up
They
because I
didn't
had a
ha-
question.
They didn't have it at this one, but the first one we went to had it.
Okay.
So this is where it's like it's kind of like a huge hula hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw the Wheel of Death.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They have parallel bars, dancers, cabaret, and more. And like you just said, there's a Wheel of Death, which is a 30-foot tall wheel on which performers spin around and around, like they do that at Barnum and Bailey as well.
Yeah, and this one was completely enclosed. So
Mm-hmm.
just because it was in a mall parking lot, technically,
Yeah.
it is a big tent setup. So you're fully enclosed. You're
it's a
not going to feel the
stage.
breeze.
Mm-mm.
They have full tech lighting. Like the amount of time it must take them
To set up.
is incredible.
Uh-huh.
But it looks it looks so good.
Yeah, and they even have the bike on the
Yeah, the bike on the high wire. I guess.
high wire, yeah.
and
Which
it
is
flips.
Yeah, it does flip.
Spoiler alert! That was really cool.
It does. And then they don't have safety nets like Barnum and Bailey does. So that adds like an extra, like,
So they don't have safety nets because
No,
I
but-
don't think they really do as extreme of stunts.
they don't.
And the only time that they even hooked kind of like a safety harness on
Mm-hmm.
was for the unicyclist when she went to like the four-wheel high. I don't know what
That's
to call
true.
it.
Yeah, they
so she had a
put-
safety wire, whereas the one at Barnum and Bailey
Mm-hmm.
didn't get a safety wire until
That's
he went
true.
to like I don't know, it had like 20 wheels all
Yeah,
stacked on top of each other.
it
That
was-
was incredible.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So this is definitely a lower caliber in terms of risk level, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like there were a few scenes like the rollerblades or the roller skaters that put me on edge because like one wrong
Right.
move, one like grain of sand on that stage,
Mm-hmm.
and it could have wrecked their whole world.
Can I just say that I... Do you want to explain my level of hatred for unicycles?
I don't fully understand your level of hatred for unicycles, and I didn't even know it existed.
It didn't either.
But when we went to the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey, because apparently we're just going to tie both into this episode, you got very upset. Like, ridiculously upset as soon as the guy on the unicycle started.
I did. I don't know why. It makes, like, do you have, okay, people listening, do you ever have, like, certain things that just, like, really make you mad that you can't explain?
Yeah, not like people chewing or road rage drivers. Like, no, completely normal to everybody else. Like, imagine every time you see a refrigerator, you just go, the refrigerator. Gosh, I wish it would just go away. That's how you acted.
I know. I really...
Towards something everybody else had nothing but smiles on their face about.
I don't like unicycles. I don't know what it is. I don't have a fear of them. I just do not like them.
Is it because they come across as cocky? Because they can do it, but you can't?
I mean, no. Have
you had a bad run-in with the unicyclist?
No,
Were you
I've
riding
never...
a bike and you're like...
No.
They took my wheel. And
no.
You had a unicycle?
I think it just
accident?
looks awkward, and so it just makes me angry because it looks awkward. I don't know.
So
even talking about it, I really want to,
You're
like...
just shaking your fist like a little Arthur meme?
Yeah, like, even talking about it makes me, like, really upset.
I hate using this term because I think it's stupid, but that's your ick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not that it, like, I mean, it is a really big ick for me, but, like...
So what if I picked up? What if I learned how to
No, please
unicycle?
don't. Please don't. I will not support you. I support you with everything else, but please do not ever pick up a unicycle.
What about a one wheel?
No. Nothing one wheel.
Nothing one wheel.
No, I hate one wheels. I don't know
really?
what
So you don't like the motorized ones either?
No.
What?
I can't stand them.
What about hoverboards?
That's different.
Because they have two wheels?
Yeah.
That's your hard line. One wheel versus two wheels.
Yes.
Okay. What about a trike? What about the three-wheeled bicycles?
That's fine. It's just one wheel. Okay, we could go on and on about
you like
how...
wagons?
Wagons?
Yeah, they have four wheels. I'm
Yeah,
just trying to
I'm
see where your
fine.
threshold is in terms of Casey's anger level versus wheel count. I'm trying to correlate these two things.
I don't know, but I think I need to bring this up in therapy because...
Yeah, probably.
But I can't just go in and be like, hey...
Is there...
I'm like, I hate unicycles.
Is there a maximum number of wheels that you would also be frustrated about?
The wheels that the guy had at Barnum and Bailey?
Yeah, but you were mad when he had... So I don't know if it's still considered a unicycle at that point.
Actually,
if you have four wheels all stacked up vertically...
Right, so that's not a unicycle. That's
but is it because you're still balancing on technically one wheel is in contact with the ground? I don't know. I don't care enough to research it, but I'm curious if, like... So you don't like things that only use one wheel. You're fine with 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
You're fine with, like, semis, 18-wheelers.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really curious if there's an extreme on the other side, like... like if a caterpillar was on wheels. Not like a tractor, but like a...
I also don't...
Or a centipede.
What is that fear that, like, you're afraid of, like, all these, like, little holes?
Oh, I don't remember. I know what you're talking about.
I have that. Like, it...
Oh, that correlates to unicycles perfectly.
I want to, like, throw up when I see, like...
What are those two things? So do you want to throw up when you see a unicycle?
Sometimes, yeah. Like, when we're talking about it right now, like, I feel like I want to throw up.
Bleh,
I just don't like them.
That's so weird. All right. Yeah, that was a
I
new
know.
fun learning curve.
I'm really weird. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, okay. Right. So, like I said, the show has international influence with performers from around the world. The founder and owner was born and raised in Italy, so hence why they're named Cirque Italia. His name is Manuel Rebecchi? I don't know. Created and founded entertainment company Cirque Italia in 2012. It started with 2 water-oriented circus shows, which they still do, and the Paranormal show was brought to the U.S. from Italy in June of 2018. It premiered in Palmetto, Florida. Yeah, so none of the shows actually include animals.
What?
Yeah.
So no, like, giant elephants, no rattlesnakes?
Nope. Rather, the
What?
circus acts focus on human ability.
So,
Well, Barnum and Bailey doesn't have animals either.
not anymore.
Remember they had a robot dog?
So, to touch on the animal thing,
Uh-huh.
they do focus on human ability.
Yeah.
Eh, They even had a guy on a leash.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
technically, they do kind of. I guess they just replace any animals.
I think that's
with
more of a
humans.
kink, like a
Well,
weird
they did it,
kink.
so it was in the show.
Yeah. That was, yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's for sure interesting.
All right, tell us more about Rebecca.
Okay, so he was born and raised in Milan, Italy. He spent part of his childhood traveling throughout Europe with his late aunt Moira Orfei. Moira Orfei, the founder of the largest circus in Europe, the Moira Orfei, I think and hope I'm saying that right, circus. Rebecca's love for circus started there. Cirque Italia shows usually perform a different city each week. They travel 11 months out of the year. Lineup and acts change each year, ensuring there's always something new. They have a cast of performers from all around the world. In Paranormal Cirque, performers come from Belarus, I don't know how to say
I
that.
don't know.
Italy, Mexico, Bulgaria, Romania, Senegal, the United States, and more. Most performers come from a multi-generational circus family with 5th, 6th, 7th, and even 8th generation circus performers. However, the cast also includes first-generation performers, some of whom were inspired to join the circus after seeing a show. That would be me.
Yeah.
I would want to, because the whole time I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to, like, I've always been, really into aerialist and chiffon aerialist and stuff like that. And I want to do that so bad.
I always like the Wheel of Death.
Yeah. That
Like,
scares me.
I know it probably takes way more training than I would think.
Because it just looks easy.
But it looks like they're just, like, hamster wheeling it the whole time.
Yeah, but you, imagine the fear you have, on
What's
that.
the worst thing that can happen?
What, if you stop running, then you, fall.
Okay, so what's the worst case scenario?
You die.
Problem solved.
Stop. Or also, if you fall and you're, having hundreds of people witness your death. And that's
so, all right.
sad.
But, hear me out. If hundreds or thousands of people are already there when you die, technically, you can say you had a huge funeral.
That's not
That
a
doesn't
funeral.
make you feel better?
No.
If you're dead at your funeral and they're there after you die, technically, it's kind of a funeral.
Yeah, but funerals aren't, well, some are traumatic, but funerals aren't traumatic events.
I mean, my dad's funeral is kind of traumatic for me. Not because of what happened at the funeral.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I love talking about it.
I mean, I guess you're right, but
I'm just saying.
Anyways.
I would rather die in front of thousands of people doing something cool like that.
Yeah.
Than, sitting at home. All by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right.
Might as well go out with a bang. And what's a bigger bang than something literally called Wheel of Death?
Yeah, that's true.
That's cool. That's hardcore.
So the performers practice on average for 2 to 3 hours a day, and they work around the tent in other ways besides performing, including working the ticket booth, vendor booths, working as ushers, face painting. Well, they didn't have face painting, but taking photos and setting up the tent. One performer works as the lighting director. And I got this from a source that I'll link. It's an article from staugustine.com, because I think one year they went to St. Augustine. So, cool. Yeah, it's a very, very interesting. The cast is very nice. They've always been cool checking in and going into the space and stuff. So
yeah, we've never had any real issues. And they've never been really packed.
No. And I mean, we went Thursday. We went last night, so it was.
But even the first year we went, I'm pretty sure we went on a Friday night.
Yeah,
and there was a good amount of people, but it didn't feel cramped in any way. You didn't feel like you were being herded in.
No.
They escort you to your seat.
They do, yeah.
That was...
Well,
They
they
did it
showed
both
you where to
times.
go.
Well, yeah. But I think because maybe all of the lighting is so dark
Yeah, they don't want you to fall.
that... And there's no signage when
No.
you go to find your seat other than like really, really small things.
Yeah.
So once you know where your seat is, it's easy to re-find it
Mm-hmm.
if you go out for intermission or things like that.
Right.
But if we were just walking in, I wouldn't know where to find my seat.
Well, I mean,
Like you do because you saw
yeah,
where we
I
actually bought
chose
tickets.
where to sit.
But
Yeah.
um,
It's kind of like,
it's almost like a dinner, like a Alhambra
kind of, yeah.
dinner theater where they guide you to your seat. Hey, it's over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. So we can talk about now the inside of the big tent and kind of other things that they have going on there besides the show.
Yeah.
And then we'll go more through the show as well. But that was just like an overview of like who they are and
Where it started.
Where it started, yeah. So outside, the view of the big tent is pretty enthralling, I would say. You can see.
It's a big word. I don't know that I've ever used the word enthralling in a sentence.
You know, I've been writing a lot lately, and so I was trying, I even like.
You should have chosen enamored.
No, that's not a good word for this.
Fine.
Because I was going to say the outside view of the big tent is, and then I kept thinking, what's a good word for mesmerizing? Or like another word for mesmerizing, or...
You didn't think mesmerizing was good enough?
No.
All right, that's fair. I'm not trying to knock you for your
It sounds like
word.
you are.
No, it's just like that's a $10 word.
$10 word.
Yeah.
Enthralling.
I think
Anyways,
so.
it's very, I was, I guess, thinking about like welcoming, like, ooh, what's that over there? You know, like, it's just enthralling. So, and we'll post a picture of what, on Facebook of what, the outside looks like because I took a picture. But it's, you know, in the parking lot. It's right behind J.C. Penney's. And it's huge. I mean, they have tons of. Are you Googling what enthralling is? Because I'm gonna punch you in the face.
According to Google, enthralling by the Oxford Dictionary means capturing and holding one's attention or fascinating.
Exactly.
So you're spot on. I'm not
I know.
saying you chose the wrong word.
I was Googled it
curious.
before I wrote it down.
Then don't get mad at me for Googling it now, all right?
You're over there with on your phone, like thinking you're trying to prove me wrong.
I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I didn't know the exact definition of enthralling, and now I know.
Good. I'm glad you learned something today from me. Anyways, so outside it's pretty cool. It's like, oh, I wonder what's inside. So when you go inside the tent, it's pretty dark and captivating. It also smells like burnt popcorn.
And it is wood flooring that creaks
Yes.
when you step on it.
It is.
Real wood, so
Yeah, it
feels like you're walking through kind of an old house.
Yeah,
It's
and
really
it's
cool.
actually really cool. I wonder how long it takes them to set up that big tent.
I would imagine. The tent itself. I don't know.
Everything around it, like, you know, just
I would guess at least 2 or 3 days.
it's crazy. So what's really cool is inside they actually have their own small little haunted house walkthrough.
Yeah.
They have merch tables on either side with like selling different types of masks and stuff. They have 2 concession stands and then 2 side entrances into the big tent seating area. My favorite thing about it is the haunted house walkthrough. I think it's really good. I really wish it was longer.
I agree.
It's so good. What
That's...
was that?
That was my stomach. These microphones pick up everything. And we're not going to edit that out because we might as well just be transparent. If it happens again, whatever. My bad. We just had Subway.
Yeah, you ate too much, bro.
Yeah, probably.
Ugh.
So the only thing I didn't like about the haunted house this year was the fact that it opened about 5 minutes after we had just gotten popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
So, and my thing with popcorn is whether we go to the movies, whether we go to the circus or whatever it is, I get the popcorn and I refuse to eat it until the event
There's
starts.
not many things in this world that drive me crazy, but
Except for unicyclists and me not eating popcorn until something starts.
yes, I
But
can't
I'm
stand when you
also-
do that.
I do the same thing no matter what we eat.
I know, and it drives
So
me
like
crazy.
we'll make dinner and you're still running around or I'm finally seated and I won't start eating until we figure out what are we going to watch, whether it's a TV show, a movie, like cuz you could take 20 minutes to keep flipping through stuff.
I know.
And by the time I'm done eating, I want to do something else. I don't
I can eat standing up in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like
you are your father.
yeah, I'll
You're-
just
You're done in like 2-3 minutes and then all right,
uh-uh.
now let's sit down and watch TV. And I can't.
Yeah.
I'm the generation of like dinner and a show. Like
I
make
wasn't-
me a frozen meal and let's watch the Braves game.
No, we
That's
grew
how I
up
grew up.
we grew up eating dinner at the table mostly. So like
You know what table we had growing up?
this one.
This little brown one that's like 18 inches high.
So
and
y'all
we
sat on
had-
the ground?
No, we had couch cushions. I'm dead serious. We had couch cushions that were about
God.
2 foot by 2 foot, and we would put them down, and that was our chairs. Now we had. I don't want it to make you think that like I grew up super poor. We grew up in a trailer, so I'm not saying we were well off. We did have a dining room table, but I would say more often than not, we ate around this table.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, because we didn't really have TV trays at our house. We had them at my grandma's house.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we would eat at this little
Did
table.
y'all
So
eat
it was.
Indian food?
I don't know if that was racist or not.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I can't stop
Were you?
laughing.
Did you say that because we were sitting Indian style underneath the
Yeah.
table?
You know how they sit on the ground and eat? Isn't that Indians?
I don't know.
Well,
Is it Indian or Japanese
Oh.
or Chinese? I don't know. Gosh, we're gonna chalk that up to we haven't been to those places.
yeah, I'm sorry.
So our version of Chinese people is we go to the Chinese buffet.
Oh
our
my.
version of Japanese is we go to the steakhouse.
Anyways,
yeah.
where did we even...
You were
Okay,
making
so
fun of me
Your
for
popcorn.
eating at this table.
No,
so
I'm not.
yeah, the popcorn thing. Sorry.
Go back to the popcorn.
So I had not eaten any of this popcorn when we got it.
And I always take a handful as soon as you get
As
it.
soon as I get it, because you want it piping hot. And you're completely oblivious to the fact that I have loaded it with butter and salt all on the top layer that you just happen to grab. So then I have to go back typically when we're at the movies and I
Sorry.
have to redo the popcorn or the butter and salt. Anyways, so this one, we had just gotten only a medium bag of popcorn. It wasn't large this time.
Well, we had asked them what the big or the large one looked like.
we had to scope out all the sizes. But we chose the happy medium. You wanted small, I wanted large. We ended up with medium.
Yeah.
Easy enough. So then we're sitting there and I'm thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. We knew the haunted house was going to open. And the last time we went, I'm pretty sure they told us we had to go through the haunted house in order to get to, like, seated. Because, like, they filed everybody through. They're like, all right, everybody this way, everybody this way.
I don't think they can make you go through that.
Maybe not. But you paid to go
Yeah, so why not?
to the whole thing.
Right.
So, yeah, for us, we're not going to pass up the opportunity to go through a haunted house if it's included.
Right.
So, my only issue was we had just gotten to popcorn, so this thing is filled to the brim. And now we have to go through a haunted house. Now, if you've been to the movies and you see specifically the AMC commercials, and they're showing the crowd, it's like one of their promo things, and one of the people in that like commercial, they get scared and their popcorn goes everywhere because they jump. That's the only thing that was
has happened to
replaying.
you before.
That has happened to me one time, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was for the preview
Of the nun.
of The Nun 2. It wasn't even in the actual movie. It was in the preview for the movie.
Oh my god, that was
The
so
only
funny.
time I've ever jumped and popcorn has gone
I think
anywhere. Even the lady beside me
she was like, "Are
turned
you
to me.
okay?"
She goes, "Are you okay, sir?" I felt
Oh my
so stupid.
Oh my god, I could not stop laughing. I almost had to leave the theater.
So, anyways, to circle back, I am clutching
You are.
this popcorn the entire time we're going through this probably 2-minute haunted house.
Not even.
I'm clutching it like it is my own child.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if the actors noticed this or not. If I was them, I would have done everything in my power to get that guest that was holding popcorn so tightly to drop it. Now, I probably, like, if I were to put my head in the mind of one of those actors and kind of look at it from their perspective, if they scared me bad enough for me to spill popcorn, then surely one of them has to probably clean it up.
Well, that too, but then you also need more popcorn.
Yeah, but they're not going to just give me free popcorn
Why not?
just because I got scared. I didn't have to go through this haunted house.
I know, even before we went through it, I said, "Are you going to be okay with your popcorn?" And you were like, I don't have a choice.
Right? I don't. So the haunted house was great. Like,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it this year much more than last year.
Yeah.
Last year, or whatever time we went last time, it
don't
was
really
more of
remember
like individual scenes that they were real gimmicky. It was
Yeah.
like the typical jump scares and let's do this, let's do that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. It wasn't mind-blowingly good. This one, I thought was really, really well done.
Yeah.
It was the lighting of the rooms that was probably my favorite part of it, because it went from like high intense lighting, not like the room is lit up, but very directionally focused lighting.
Yeah.
So there was kind of like a green light one that was kind of in your face. So all of a sudden your eyes are adjusting to super bright light right in your eyes. The next room is not completely dark, but very low lit. And then you go through another room, the same thing, directional lighting, very in your face, back to pitch black, or then to pitch black. And then it ends with strobe light.
Oh, so
and
strong.
in the strobe light one, I've never been in...
They had body bags hanging.
Yeah. I've never been in a strobe light room like that where I genuinely could not see past the fog and the strobe.
Yeah.
So that was the one I was most...
cover my eyes.
Like, that was the most intense room for me. Because I didn't know... I couldn't see 6 inches in front of my face.
Mm-mm.
So when I finally... Like, I lost track of you. I was looking at your feet. And then those completely disappeared very quickly. And then I heard you still talking, but you felt like you were miles away. Like, I could barely hear you. It was like you were down this long tunnel. And then, body bags hanging. Mm-hmm. So now I'm having to, like... I felt like I'm carrying groceries. And I have to, like, waddle through, like, those thick plastic panels in, like, a freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
It was really difficult.
Yeah, and they actually, they do touch you, because they touched my head.
Yeah.
And then they touched my shoulder, but they aren't, like, aggressive about it or anything.
Right, it was similar to Gainesville Fear Garden in terms of the level of touch.
Yeah.
It was enough to get you to jump.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a direct, like, they weren't being handsy.
Mm-mm.
It was like a guy with a claw glove. Kind of like running it along your back when you walk past.
It actually felt really good.
Yeah, it felt like kind of a miniature ASMR type thing.
Yeah, I wanted to go back and be like, hey, can you do that?
Right. The masks were so good.
Yeah.
Because of the lighting, the actors in each area were able to actually blend in. Like, it was not Halloween Horror Nights. It was not 13th Floor. It was more of a... maybe less of a theatrical thing and more of an immersive, how much can we make these actors blend in to the scenery or the area to where you don't know where they are until they are 6 inches from your face.
Yeah.
Like, by the time you see them, they're too close for comfort.
Yeah, they, like, pop out of nowhere.
Yeah. So...
It was really scary,
me and jump scares, not the best of friends. But I am very proud to say I managed to drop no popcorn.
Remember I got scared. Oh, I just remember this when I turned the corner and then that weird, it was like that drop thing.
The drop panel?
Yeah, and then the
Yeah.
scary mask came at me.
Yeah.
Oh, that was scary.
Yeah. They still use the gimmicky drop panels, the strobe, the laser light.
Yeah.
Like, they used all of that. But the way in which they used it was a different level for the amount of space they had. So I agree. If that could have been longer,
It was really good.
I would have rather done that than the circus.
Right. It was probably the length of our house, our haunted house.
In terms of time,
Yeah.
yes. I think in terms of length and how they did the maze,
Yeah.
theirs may have been a little shorter.
Wow. And they did so good.
But because you're walking through it even slower, because you, like, ours was well lit enough where you could see the next scene coming, and it was pretty much one big hallway. Whereas this one was, you're constantly having to turn, you have no idea what's a few steps away.
Yeah.
And it's always changing. It wasn't a story based.
Is that your stomach again?
100% it was. It wasn't a story based haunted house. It was just a bunch of different scares.
Yeah.
Which was fine for me for a 2-minute haunted house.
Right.
Wasn't a big deal.
Right. Yeah, but very, very well done. Very impressed.
Yeah.
So the show in itself, so we kind of talked about the seating already, but the seating is pretty close together, and it's basically wrapped around the stage with 3 different levels. So I would say that every seat is pretty good view.
Yeah.
Except some seats, like the ones we had last night, actually had a truss blocking some of the view.
Yeah.
So we were able to move a little bit down the road because it wasn't that busy, so we just moved. But the best seats are obviously right at the front of the stage because you get to interact with the performers and see them up close. So, I mean, but they're more
picked on more.
You do. They do like to pick on, they do interact with the audience a lot.
Yeah. I think this year's show, it picked on people less.
Yeah, I agree.
So, like, last time it was risque beyond. Like, it was a whole nother level of you being picked on and the situations that you were then put in.
Right.
In terms of uncomfortable.
That's why I was scared. I was like, I do not want to get picked.
Right. But this year wasn't really... I don't think this year was that bad in comparison. It's still uncomfortable. If you get stage fright, you don't want to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
Then maybe sit near the back.
Yeah, but they make you feel, they make you feel...
as comfortable as you can.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, I mean, it's just
yeah,
like
it's funny
stuff.
when you're not that guy.
That's true. I wonder how he felt.
I don't know. Maybe it's similar to, like, what's the Monsters, Inc. thing at in Tomorrowland? The Monsters, Inc. The laugh floor.
The laugh floor.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. I was one time.
It's basically like that where they keep, like, picking on you.
Yeah, the whole show. It was cool, though.
But, yeah, and you could be pulled up on stage, so just be aware of that if you sit close. And they mostly gear towards... Well, I guess they do guys and girls.
For, like, their target audience?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. They didn't... This one, they didn't pull any girls up to the stage. Like, last time, they had, like, a whole scene that felt like 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
And they had, I think, 2 guys and a girl up there kind of acting out a new scene.
Yeah.
But this one, they only brought up one guy to the stage, and they just picked on a few girls in the audience and a few guys.
Yeah. So, like we said, the dancers are scandalous, and they can get pretty close. Whether you sit up far or down close, they won't touch you though. But we sat like all the way up at the tippy top,
back row, and she was within 5 feet of us.
Yeah, she was like right in front of us.
Yeah.
So, Sean got the sweats a little bit.
It was a very unobstructed view for one of the redheaded dancers.
Yeah. So,
yeah, it doesn't really matter where you sit.
No.
They you will be able to see really the whole show.
Yeah.
Like, I think I liked our seats more than being up close.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of the pre-show.
Right, you get to see a lot more.
Yeah, so the show...
And
Are we talking about the show yet? Like the...
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't have to turn around, like, and look at everything.
Yeah. You don't know if something uncomfortable is happening behind you that you should be aware of or anything like that. So us being in the back row, I'd say there's what, maybe 20 rows total.
Yeah.
So us say in the back row, you're maybe 30 to 40 feet from the stage.
Yeah.
And what was cool about this year was they had kind of like a silk screen, or a partially transparent screen covering the entire perimeter of the stage.
Yeah.
Kind of like one big drop curtain.
Mm-hmm.
And this year they had these unliving portraits from Atmos Effects projected onto three sides
How
of the
did
screen.
you know it was that? How did you know it was from Atmos Effects?
I researched it today.
Oh, okay.
So I mentioned it last night that I thought that was from Atmos Effects, but I couldn't remember if it was another company.
I was too busy waiting on it to like change.
So they're the same ones that they have. They're arguably the most popular digital haunting items. I mean, Atmos Effects is like, they're a very well-known company. A lot of places use them. Specifically, we've seen them at Cocktails and Screams in Orlando.
It's so good.
And that system of putting it on a TV inside of a picture frame is a few $1,000s unless you do it yourself. But like the kits they sell, so like Fright Props sells a kit for it, and I think they're somewhere between $1,500 and $5,000, something like that.
Jeez.
But for just the digital effect, like just the recording, it's like $10. So for them, they probably spent about $30 for just that one effect, and it's kind of like an animated. That's the word I was looking for a few minutes ago. An animation. It's an animation that looks like a portrait. My stomach is going nuts. I'm sorry. This is kind of embarrassing, but I also just don't care at this point.
You ate too much.
Yeah, well. So it's an animation made to look like a painting or a portrait, and then every so often, it kind of goes into this zombie or jump scare type thing. The way they have it set up is awesome.
It actually scared me when it was like, I wasn't expecting.
Some of them it transitions and you can kind of see it change effect before it happens, but then there's others where it happens instantly and you have no idea that it's coming. And I think some of their other pre-show, like the Ghostly Apparition Girl, I would be willing to bet some of those are also Atmos Effects. I don't think it was just the portraits. So either way, the pre-show had a lot of animations in it using that silk screen before they dropped it down and the actual show started.
Yeah, I thought it was really, I really liked that part of it.
Yeah, and I don't think it's called a silk screen. I'm sure there's a theater or theatrical term for it, but I don't remember what it is.
What did Haunted Mansion call it? Or Harry Potter?
What are you talking about?
The portraits. The moving portraits.
I think they're just moving portraits, but like the material that it was projected on, I don't know what it was called.
Oh, okay.
The actual digital effects, if you want, they're from Atmos Effects, ATMOS, FX.com, and these are called the Unliving Portraits.
Gotcha.
And I think it's a set of 3 for $30.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what else? Oh, so they also have like, they'll walk around like a normal circus or show, and they'll sell you stuff. They'll also
yeah, they had strawberries on a stick, like chocolate covered strawberries on a stick. Spooky like ghost marionettes. It looked like.
Yeah, it was cute.
Looked like cat toys with kind of some sheet on it, like
sheet.
A cat toy with like a little white sheet made to look like a ghost. Okay. I didn't mean it the way it came out.
They also had a person. Sorry. I just thought about what you said last night about the guy, the photographer, and he was walking around
with the Chucky doll.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a guy walking around with a really professional camera. I mean, I guess it was professional. I don't know anything about cameras. It was a camera, and he had a Chucky doll, kind of like the life size of Chucky.
Shoving it to people. And
and he would be like, he'd shove it in your face and go picture, picture. And I mean, Child's Play is my favorite, so I'm not gonna not get a picture with Chucky.
Yeah.
So again, kind of like a Alhambra dinner theater thing. Like, you know, they're probably gonna come back around and be like, "You want to buy this?" after they've printed it.
Right.
Um,
And then you feel bad saying no.
right. Well, I don't feel bad at all
I felt
because
bad
I.
because they.
So at first, I thought maybe they're just taking pictures to like use for a
I
collage.
thought so too.
Well, they weren't.
They were trying to
They were
sell.
trying to sell the thing, and
And
I felt
literally
a little
every
bad.
person he went to, they were like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, I thought you just wanted us to take a picture with you.
I know. And then you mentioned you were like, "Well, maybe he doesn't even work here."
Right. Maybe he just came in with his own Chucky doll and had his Epson inkjet in the trunk of his car. It was just
Oh
like,
my gosh.
yeah, I'm back. Did you? Where did I take this picture at? I have a picture of a bunch of random people with my doll that I bought from home or brought from home. Yeah, maybe he
Oh.
didn't work there. I don't know.
Oh my god, that's too funny. Thank you for that laugh. Anyways, so inside of the I mean, the show itself um has like an intermission that's like I don't know,
It's
like
like
an hour.
15, 20 minutes long,
Yeah.
and during it, they have a few performers on stage you can take pictures with. And I don't want to know how much the Chucky picture would have been because the picture with the performers on stage was
Oh, he told me.
$15.
He told me. He was like, "It's 15."
That's
No,
ridiculous.
or he said 10. I think he said 10.
Yeah,
Either
no.
way, like no. I'm
And you
good.
weren't supposed to use your phone during the show. It didn't
Mm,
stop most people. We didn't pull our phones out.
no.
But there was a guy that filmed, I'd say, a good 75% of it
Uh m-
without stopping.
Most of it was the girl dancers. He was like
Oh, is that when he
yeah.
would?
That's why I was like, look at this guy. He's like taking videos of all the girls. That's so funny.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. So yeah, and their acts are like they're so talented.
Yeah.
Like
They had a few
amazing.
mess ups, but again,
They
it
did. It was
was.
the first night,
Yeah, it's
so
opening night. The juggling act, I thought was
oh,
great.
he was good.
I
Yeah.
don't know if it was a he or a she.
I'm pretty sure
I
it was
thought
a
it was a
dude.
girl most of the time. They had a,
Mm,
the person had a top hat on,
yeah.
but I couldn't tell. I don't know.
I think it was
Either way, the juggling was
oh yeah, they were really
awesome.
good. Sorry, I'm tired. So yeah.
And
We
after the intermission, it's not the same length of time
no,
as the
it's
first
so
half.
short.
Like, after the intermission, I feel like they had one, maybe two acts, and then all of
Hmm.
a sudden, they're all coming out taking their bows. It was very confusing
Yeah, it was a little weird, but
because I don't know. I feel like they could have done without the intermission.
I think yeah, for sure. But I think the intermission like
Gives
went
them a chance to sell more.
probably, and then they
Yeah.
also I think that it went on way much longer than it should have been.
Yeah.
They might have had something wrong or what something.
Either that or maybe it's just a bigger set change.
That's true,
I
maybe.
hadn't thought about that. So, something about the tech that I did want to bring up that I thought was kind of interesting is there is a manual spotlight person.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, right near the beginning of the show, when they're still doing a lot of the digital projections, somebody you can very clearly see is climbing up one of the lighting trusses.
yeah.
And I think most of us thought that a spotlight was going to go up there and that's where the show was going to start or that's where the ringmaster was going to be.
Yeah.
No, not at all. That person was crawling up to basically a crow's nest on the lighting truss,
Mhm.
and their only job all night was a manual spotlight.
I don't know if I'd like that job or not.
Well, I'm curious. So I was thinking about this last night, and I was wondering if the lights are. So they had moving lights as well throughout the
Mhm.
whole show. Like it wasn't just this manual spotlight, and that was it. Like they had
Right.
full moving
So
headlights.
many. Mhm.
So I was wondering, and I should have asked my brother earlier if this is even possible,
Yeah.
but I wonder if the manual spotlight was almost like a guide to show, to kind of place where all of the moving head lights were.
Mm.
So almost like if you were to put a laser pointer and you would move it around, all the other lights would follow that laser pointer.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if that was the same type of tech or if that's not even like a possibility. I don't know. It crossed my mind because I couldn't determine whether the manual spotlight was moving first or the moving headlights.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I was thinking about. So, what was your favorite act?
Ooh, the juggling was really good. To me, all of the aerialists, all of the aerialists,
Aerialist.
they all do the same stuff. I feel like
Yeah.
it all runs together.
Yeah.
None of them are better than the others,
I think my favorite act was when the girl with the hair that it like
Hmm.
it attaches to your hair and then
Yeah,
it swings around and stuff and she
that's
does
cool.
like theatric movements.
I like that that one had kind of a storyline.
Right, and I
That
really
was
liked
cool.
that. Yeah.
Um, I think probably I was most impressed by the roller skates, that and the juggling.
Yeah. They didn't have a contortionist.
Mm, yeah, I feel like a lot of the aerialists are basically contortionists, but yeah, they didn't have
Yeah.
anybody that like fit in a box or anything.
No.
The motorcycle scene, I don't know why, but it always reminds me of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of the Meatloaf character. And I don't know why, like it's just because he has a motorcycle. They don't
Yeah.
all of the music is very on point and on brand for them. A lot of it's kind of rock and roll. They had
Mhm.
I don't know if it was the exact track from The Exorcist. It sounded almost like an off-brand, like a Wish version of the Exorcist soundtrack.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I think I looked at you and I don't know. I think you were really engaged in it. So I was like, I'll just save this.
Probably. um the shows that they have are Water Circus, so Cirque Italia, Water Circus Silver, Water Circus Gold, Paranormal Cirque, and then Nitro Extreme Motor Stunt.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
Have you
don't
ever
think
been to
they.
that?
No, I
I
don't
think
think
that's
they.
similar to like the ones in the cage. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
No, this is like.
Is this like a full outdoor, almost
Yeah,
like monster trucks?
yeah, it's kind of like monster trucks, but like.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's like a what Disney used to have.
Yeah, the lights, motor action.
Lights motor action, yeah. So
That's cool.
that's really cool. But yeah, not much else to say about it other than it was
No,
pretty awesome.
they don't have any merch like shirts, at least not to the
No.
one that we went to.
Mm-mm.
Most of their merchandise is like steampunk
Yeah.
masks, a lot of masks with like horns, light
Yeah.
up ones.
Really cool.
So I think both times we've gone, we haven't
Mhm.
bought any merch because it's like when else would we ever wear this? It's
Well,
not really up our
yeah.
it's not really up our alley. If they had a shirt, I would
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
buy
I
it.
don't know why they don't have shirts. That's so weird.
Well, so I was listening, or I wasn't listening or watching. I was reading
Okay.
through a review that I think Haunted Attraction Association
Okay.
did a few episodes on them, so I'll try to link them if I can re-find them. But they said that in their cast, they had shirts and merchandise,
Hmm.
but they didn't. It was hard to find the shirts they wanted in the right sizes,
Gotcha.
so they ended up not buying anything either. Um, so I'll try to link to their outline of it because again, theirs was a few years ago. I think it was the same year that we went
Mm-hmm.
because what they were describing was very similar to ours the first time we went
Gotcha.
with the nun scene and
Yeah.
the creator and all that stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
It was a fun date night.
Yeah, it's a fun date night. Just so that you're aware, I mean, it is provocative, so
Yes.
just go in knowing that. And
Not recommended for everybody,
no,
but if you enjoy kind of the off track kind of gothic scene, I guess.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so
and we do. So
we do. Yeah, so we'll link the they also have, so if you like go into the mall, the Orange Park Mall, they'll have like little flyers as well.
coupons.
Gives you like a coupon, but I'll put the coupon like what it is. You'll get $5 off each ticket price, and I think what did we pay, like $47 total for both of us to go.
yeah, and
So
we
it
sat in the
wasn't,
back.
yeah,
So
it wasn't too bad. And so I'll link that as well. They are there until I think Sunday.
Sunday, February. Today's the 2nd, so the 4th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you got 2 more nights to check it out.
Yep.
Saturday and Sunday. So get in while you
I
can.
think, I don't know if they do Sunday night.
They said 4 days,
So
but I don't know. So either
yeah,
way,
either
try
way.
to go Saturday night.
Yeah, and they'll come back next year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't go last year.
I think we went last year.
Pretty sure we didn't, but okay.
Well, whatever.
And
I
it
don't
wasn't
know.
in February, though. I don't think it was like, I don't remember when it was. I have to look
I
back
don't
at my
know.
photos,
It's
but
been in the last 2 years,
yeah, for
and
sure.
we enjoyed it both times. So as soon as we saw it,
Hmm.
we were like, "Well, when is that? 4 days from now." Okay, yeah, we're going.
Yeah. And then they also have there's another one coming up, the actual, so if you like want to take your kids, the water circus, it's in Brandon, Florida, I think.
Okay.
Coming up in a couple of weeks. So maybe check that out. It's not too far away. I think it's like near Tampa, right?
Yep. And then
So,
if you are interested in more haunting things,
hmm,
HauntCon is coming up in Daytona.
yeah,
When is it?
next weekend,
Yeah,
the
so
9th.
February 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yep, HauntCon. We might go, we might not.
Yeah, we're still kind of debating whether it makes sense for the classes, the cost,
Yeah.
things like that. So we might be there.
Yeah.
If you're planning on going, let us know. We'd love to meet up with you there if we are able to go.
Yeah, and everybody that's going to MegaCon this weekend, have fun
And the Pro Bowl
in the Pro Bowl.
and Love Bites at 13th Floor is
13th
coming up
floor,
for
yeah.
Valentine's Day.
We're not going to that, but
No, but
okay.
it is cool that it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Fear Garden in Gainesville
Mm-hmm.
has a few updates on their website.
Oh, they finally updated it?
I mean, they updated it with the same information they sent to the pass holders.
Okay.
I haven't checked this week,
Okay.
but they've had some issues with the building they had secured.
Yeah.
So they're looking to do more pop-up events until
Yeah.
they get established in a specific location. So I'm really excited. As soon as we hear about those,
Mm-hmm.
we'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
I think Transworld is in, what, 5 weeks? 6 weeks?
Yeah. We're
Yep.
leaving on March 1st. Going on
Yep.
a little road trip.
Yep. We're going to try to record some episodes about some of the paranormal and haunting stuff we do on the way there
Mm-hmm.
in Tennessee. We've got a few things picked out.
Yep.
Should be exciting.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening to this bonus episode.
Yeah, last minute.
Yeah.
Very low planning.
Yeah.
But it's
And
fun.
it's hopefully you will listen to. I mean, it's Friday night tonight, right?
Yep. So you got all day Saturday
Yeah.
to get your tickets.
Get your tickets. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Bye.
Bye.